Hey, Andy, Jamie, how was your day?
Hey Scott, thanks a lot, buddy. Hi Jamie, how are you?
Andy Scott, hello from very hot Texas, and I'm sure you're aware of that already, Andy.
Yes,
Hello,
I am.
everybody.
Yes, hello everybody, and thank you. It looks like we're going to have a good crowd today. Thank you for taking your time out today. This is the Trading Studio. My name is Andy, and my sidekick there is Jamie. And let's get started. And before we do, let's go over our disclaimer here real quick. We are a content publisher. We're going to be talking about today. As a matter of fact, that's part of the webinar today. Going to be setting some price alerts and sharing them with you. But just remember that this is for educational purposes only. Nothing should be construed as investment advice. All right, if that's what you are looking for, please seek out a RIA, a stockbroker, somebody who holds that Series 7 license and can legally provide you with that information. All right, before we move on, we got a number of new people in here, I'm sure. I want to talk about our 5-star support, education, and training. We know that for some people, when they open up this platform, it can be a little overwhelming, but it's really easy to just fire up and start getting alerts right away. If you want to make it as simple as opening up a channel and getting alerts of stocks in motion, moving, momentum, pulling back, whatever you're looking for, they're out there. So, but at the same time, you want to eventually get a good feel for the software and start making it your own, I like to say, and creating your own alerts and top list. And we're here to help you. We have webinars every day, Monday through Thursday in the same time slot. We do encourage Q&A, so please, interaction, please. If you have any questions, just fire away. We do have some content to present, so just bear with us, but we also want to answer any of your questions that you might have. So 4 webinars at the same time slot, and we also have a trading room that's free for everyone, not even if you're not a TI subscriber. It's moderated by Barry. He's a great trader, and he does a great job moderating the room, and a lot of good traders in there. So it's a great place to hang out, to not only see the software in action, but to see some great calls by people using the software. And let's not forget, folks, the support webinar that you see there on the bottom every Monday through Friday at 12 Eastern. Getting more and more people in there coming with questions. Hopefully you can make it during that time because they can't be recorded. Yeah, if you can, come in there Monday through Friday at noon, and we open it up, and it's just straight up Q&A. So please take advantage of that. All right, just want to real quickly hit on our simulated trading platform, which is, I call it a platform. It's more of a just an interface where you can use to paper trade. You don't need a broker connection. Okay, everything's done on our servers. No need to fund an account. And it's a really great interface where you can paper trade, day trade, swing trade, whatever you want to do. And there's no extra charge. All you need is a standard subscription, and you have access to it all. And please take advantage of that. It's a great little product. All right, the agenda for today. Excuse me, we're going to do the market recap. Very sloppy day today in the market. We'll talk about that. And really, Holly didn't do a whole lot today either. Jamie will brush on that, but there's not a whole lot to talk about there. I'm going to show you, we're getting to that time of year where things can get really, really slow, really sloppy sometimes, middle of July all the way through August. So I'm just going to kind of give you some ideas of what may help you during this time. One of them is an alert because it is earnings season. It's a top list called Earnings Watcher, where you can basically just track all the stocks that had earnings last night or this morning. And I'll share that with you if you don't have it already. And then we're going to look at pullback above 50 SMA. This is something I haven't talked about because we seldom seems like we get a pullback in the market, but a few stocks in there, we'll mark them up, and just in case we get a bounce coming soon, it's good to know, have some price alerts set to where maybe you can act upon. All right, let me back out of this, and we'll pull up the spiders and take a look at the sloppy action before I stretch out my daily. this is what we had to work with today. A gap down in the SPYs, a lot of back and forth action, really ugly. And now in after hours, it's down, and that is because Netflix, attuned Netflix down on the after the close on earnings. All right, so let's pull back up the SPYs, and we'll take a look at the Qs too. But just because they are showing relative weakness to the, so maybe somebody knew something about these earnings. Grab this thing. My gosh, it's hard. I grabbed that corner. There we go. So SPYs, you know, very constructive chart there still. I mean, possibly looking to put in maybe a cup and handle. Let me just get my little drawing tool right here, and we'll draw something for you here. Possibly, you know, kind of a deformed cup there, but nonetheless, you can kind of see what I'm talking about, and we could possibly maybe bounce off this. That dot is too big, but anyway, you can see what the formation I'm trying to draw there. So something to keep an eye out, but very constructive there in the SPYs. I'm going to pull up the Qs real quick and just let's take a look at the difference there. So the Qs have kind of pulled back more from their highs, and underneath their 10-period moving average pretty much closed right at it today with the Netflix earnings. I'm expecting maybe a gap down tomorrow in the Qs. We'll see. Maybe somebody's coming out and pre-marking that will counteract the Netflix earnings, or who knows? Maybe they start buying Netflix up here soon. But nonetheless, a little more deterioration because it's not the same chart as you see there. It's under the 10-period moving average, whereas the SPYs are kind of well above their 10-period moving average there. So a little bit of different picture than what we're used to seeing, okay? The Qs have been leading the way, but over the last 3 days, they're showing weakness, whereas the SPY is holding up pretty well. Could be money flowing out of some big tech, taking some profits, moving into whatever, oil stocks, or who knows what it may be. But for some reason, the SPYs are definitely holding up better than the Qs over the last 3 days. You can see the difference there. But all in all, they both look very healthy. I mean, there's not too much you can make for a bear presentation right now. So, you know, if the Qs would have just finished a couple of ticks higher, you know, they'd be above all their moving averages. And right now, it looks like they're right at their 10-period moving average. IWM had, and Jamie, this was really odd yesterday. I mean, that was a pretty big gap up. You didn't see the same. Yep. Yeah, you really didn't see that big of a percentage gain in the other two. I don't know what caused that, but yeah, maybe some money rotating into these small stocks. You know, I don't know. The Russell 2000.
Well, I mean, every day it seems like there's 2 or 3 of these biotechs that you've never heard of that double, triple. So you know, it's all over the place right now.
Yeah, there's been some junk running lately. I can say that for sure. But just to see a big gap up like that, when you don't have the other ones. Let's just take a look at the spiders that day, and it wasn't, you know, gosh, not that big of a percentage gap up at all. So I'm not sure what's going on there to cause such a big gap up in the IWM. All right, anything you want to add to the market recap there, Jamie?
No, that's very good chart tech, Andy. I concur with
not
everything.
A lot to talk about. Yeah, still, you know, especially the spiders are fine there. I think you got to watch the Qs tomorrow with Netflix earnings and see if they can show more weakness. If those big boys start getting hit.
Yeah, I guess everybody's seen everything. They've run through the entire Netflix catalog. There's no more content being put out by Hollywood right now. Nobody's working in that industry. Maybe they've got a shortage of product.
Maybe so. I know they produce a lot on their own, but it's probably not enough.
Yeah, and everybody hasn't been at home before now. So
yeah,
it's like,
yes.
It sounds like I'm joking, but I'm kind of serious. You know, I think everybody's seen everything on Netflix, you know.
Good point.
The one interesting trade that Holly has.
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it real quick. I'll sit here at it.
Okay, cool. All right, ladies, we had the old double signal in Dell, and it's funny when the signal popped up, I was like, Dell? Wow, kind of forgot about
Yeah,
them.
really.
And then Michael Noss was like, oh yeah, I forgot Dell was a company. Because you just don't see their ticker symbol popping up much in, you know, the stuff that we look for. But here it is today with a nice juicy gap up. And we had a double signal. The first one was early on. Second one was about not quite 2 hours later. But unfortunately, the double signal sometimes works, but this one today did not. Got a couple of stop hits, smaller loss on the first entry, but kind of a non-event for the Dell. Couple of other minor winners here, one other minor loser. But the one that I really liked, and I love these patterns, is this NCLH today, because it gave us a nice early start with a statistically weighted entry. And let me just get my little pointer here in case I do need to make a mark. So we got the early call, you know, roughly 25 minutes into the market with that statistical probability behind us, giving us this nice little short entry up here. So we're in it. And then we got this action, okay? Clearly a selling event was in play today. We got the gap down and, you know, look at the volume level this thing did today, 74 million. I mean, average daily volume, what do we got down here? 63 million. So not big on the relative volume side, but to see this tight range with all that volume, that tells you that was a selling event, nice and tight, okay? Gap down, they take it down a little bit, but you know, also this is a perfect example of how they do it in the institutions when they got to unload, a lot to unload. That's a algo, just slicing and dicing that order for the most of the day. What I really like about the tight range is it gives us an opportunity for a second entry where I've pointed the orange arrow here. We're in a little bit from Holly. Boom, boom, boom. We know what happens. Buyers and sellers become equal. It's going to break one way or the other eventually. And of course, this one was to the downside. So we got a nice clean break, hardly any energy expenditure. So we could have pressed that position, doubled, tripled down for some nice controlled gains, and then got a little bonus payoff towards the end there. So, you know, day one of this guy being not quite in the hole, but not looking too good, all right? So once you know, and those of you who have been watching Holly for a very long time, you've seen this, you've seen it before. Hopefully, maybe you're able to hit this one in this capacity today. So in the future, when you see these big gap plays, and they can happen to the upside as well, you know the buyer or the seller's in there, and once you see this nice clean pattern emerge, it, you know, the rest writes itself. So this was Norwegian Cruise Lines. So of course, when I saw this one come out, what did I do? Pulled up CCL. You know, look at this action compared to NCLH, nice and controlled and an actual down move, as opposed to this guy, which, you know, it ebbed and flowed, it gapped down along with it, but the seller was clearly not in control on this one. All right, this one, RCL is going to look the same. You got the same algo in there doing that, but this one is special because it's so nice and tight, and we got that break. You know the selling is real, and when you see volume levels like this, a lot of stock got sold today in this one, so it might be an interesting one to keep your eyes on because, you know, if there really is a big seller and he's not done yet, you know, look where we are, look where we might be. So definitely one to keep your eyes on moving forward. And that's really about it for Holly today, Andy.
All right. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot going on, and that's fine in a market like this. I'm okay with that.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'd rather Holly tread water, have a mediocre day than, you know, it's just like us. Over trading will get you every time.
Yep,
pretty much.
Sure will.
All right. Well, let me kick it back over to you.
Okay. While you're doing that, this person, how you pronounce that name, Jamie?
Let me see here. You know what?
I'm gonna butcher it if I say it, but
I'm afraid I'm gonna tear it up.
Yeah,
Pramod. So, I'll just say Pramod.
Pramod. Okay.
I'll take my best stab at it.
All right. Does your trading room focus? The trading room does focus more on day trading candidates. That doesn't mean there's not guys in there sharing trade swing ideas as well. I know Barry occasionally will take some swing trades, so you should check it out. I know there's people in there that are doing swing trading, but the primary focus is probably, I would have to say, on day trading. All right, guys, I know I've been there. I was there for 17, 18 years, trading in the summer times, a lot of times, and we talk about this, it seems like once every summer. And I'm going to do a little bit sooner. I usually don't get to this conversation until about August, but it's not unusual to have, slow days like we had today in the spiders. You can see the relative volume was very low, less than 0.7%, or I shouldn't say it's a ratio, so it's less than 0.7. So gap down and just a lot of slop back and forth. Looking around today, a lot of the momentum scans that I have, there just wasn't a whole lot of stuff following through. If you're lucky to catch something, hey, good for you, because there wasn't wasn't a whole lot going on. And I say this because I know how traders will get, if you were like me and you trade for a living, you feel like you got to be at work every day, pressing those keys, making money, and some days are just not cut out for it, and in the summertime, there can be some great days in the summer times, but you're going to have a lot of days where it's just really slow, really sloppy like it is today. And the less you trade, I think the better off you're going to be, and more than certain your P&L would be better off. So and what I would do in a situation when I know it's getting slow, when I know it's getting sloppy, is I would try to focus on one or two stocks. Try to find one or two stocks on one of your momentum scans that you might have. There's a couple over here. Account Builder, there's something in there that I believe has a, let me take a look. I think I saved it in here. Yeah. Account Builder, big winners, where you can find stocks that change from the close or are up most on the day. But I was even looking through this today, and I'm going like, wow, that's sloppy. This one, this morning had a nice, beautiful run from $1.50 to $1.50. These are going to be lower price stocks. For those of you who like to play lower price stocks, that was just ugly if you tried to buy that at any point today. This one took off right here. I'm sure this probably came through one of my alerts. I have to go look and check and see, but you need to look for opportunity and try to focus on a window that's going to give you, show you volume, show you stocks in play, because if not, you can get really chopped up a lot back and forth. Another one is this revenue growth fishing. Okay, this is one. I'm sorry, it wasn't the one I was talking about. That was when I talked about Earnings Watcher. There it goes. I thought I had it up here. All right. So what this Earnings Watcher is, it's a very simple top list, and I shared this a couple of months ago, I believe, or maybe it was last earnings season. But we're going to pull it up and look at the configuration, and there's not much to it. Okay. All it is, why I went there, I don't know, is looking for stocks who had earnings. Negative 0.25 would be last night. 0.25 would be this morning. Okay, so these are stocks that are coming fresh off earnings. All right, so we know more than likely they're going to be in play. That doesn't mean all of them are going to be moving and going in one direction and staying in one direction, especially some of these big caps. I know their earnings sometimes can all be a gap and just slop back and forth. Kind of like Dell did today, although that wasn't an earnings play, but that's a great, I'll pull that up in a minute, because you gotta watch out for the big caps. But some of these smaller and more obscure stocks, they can have some really nice moves. So keep an eye on that. I'm just looking for a price over $5, relative volume 2. You can change this and make this, if you want to play smaller stocks over $2, that's fine. Relative volume 2 and average daily volume, I'm looking for 300,000. So it's pretty basic, what I'm looking for. And then I'm just sorting by, you had a big move, but you first right out of the gate pulled back and then just kind of slopped around. Morgan Stanley, a decent move this morning. Okay, and if you're able to catch that, maybe after the round 52, after the first 15 minutes, you see it was strong, you see it was breaking out to a monthly high there. Okay, that's the kind of stuff maybe that you'd want to look for, and you got a nice move for the first couple of 2 or 3 hours of the day anyway, and then finally, not sure what happened there, but it got ugly like a lot of stocks did. See if this one had a nice move this morning for first couple of hours. So there is some opportunity, and didn't happen. The earnings season is just now kicking in. I mean, it just kicked off this week, really. And this thing is going to start filling up more and more and more. You can sort by, change from close. If you want to sort by position in lifetime range, maybe you can find those ones that are breaking out to all-time highs. There's a lot of ways you can kind of look at this and change it around by clicking on your columns to sort by different things. Maybe you want to see which has the strongest relative volume. This one had an ugly day today. There's your gap down, big relative volume, and pretty much slid off all day, and then finally bounced at the close there a little bit. All right, so I will share this. I'm going to sort it back by change from the close, and I'm going to give it for those of you who don't have it. Some of you may have, because I shared it before. And we'll just save and share. For those of you guys who are in here for the first time, I'm able to share this by dropping the code link to them in the chat window, and they'll have access to it immediately. Really wise. You're going to notice in the trading room as well. Barry loves earnings season. It's because earnings stocks are in play. All right, you don't want to get stuck going back and forth on a stock that's not doing anything when you have all these stocks that are in action. So I'm sure Barry has a window over there that he uses for earnings season as well. So a good one to have up for the next 6-7 weeks for sure. All right, we're going to move on here to pullback above 50 SMA Pro, because a lot of people ask me about this, and let's just pull it up, stretch it out here a little bit so we can see it. So people ask me about this all the time, and I like to use it for swing trading. So I find some really good opportunity. And when I built this, I said to myself, I want to find stocks that are strong over the last 3 months, okay, but are pulling back on the 5-day time frame and possibly getting ready to make a reversal move after the pullback they've had. So how did I do that? We're going to go into configuration here, and I'm going to show you. And I'm going to show you some very powerful filters. Okay, and they're called position and range filters. And you're going to see I use a lot of these. If you go into that Trader's Vault, you're going to find a lot of these going to have position and range. I got a position and year range. Position and range, that would be the range for today. Okay, I got a position and 5-day ranges. So this, just in this one alone, I got 3 position and range filters, and the rest of them are basically just kind of fundamental. I'm looking for prices over $5. The change from the this is not fundamental, obviously. The change from the 50-day SMA has to be at least 0.01% above the 50-day SMA. You may ask, well, what does that do? Well, that assures me that the stock has been in an uptrend over the last 50 days. Obviously, if it's above its 50-day moving average, it has to be in an uptrend over the last 50 days. So the key ones here are position in 5-day range. Okay, I got a max of 25. Okay, so I'm looking for stocks that the price is no more than 25% above the low end of this range. That tells me the stock has been pulling back in the 5-day time period. Okay, and here's the kicker, and this is beautiful. The position in range, this is looking at the intraday range. It has to be just the opposite of what we see over here. It has to be in the upper 25% of its intraday range. So a lot of times, guys, when you're building these, this can give you all sorts of information. Because me just looking at this, I know the stock tried to sell off further today, but buyers came in and pushed it into the upper portion of its range. That tells me it's been selling off for 5 days, but now at a certain level, buyers are liking it at this price. So we're going to take a look at it, a few charts here, and I'm going to mark them up, and I'll share the price alerts with you. And then we'll talk about how you may trade these price alerts if they go off. And you should do this on your own anyway if you're looking. I use it for swing trading. It also can be used for day trading, but I like to use it more for swing trading. All right, so let's take a look at, and what I'm going to do here, because I saw a few that I like, because what happens is a lot of times they may be in the upper 25% of their intraday range, but in the closing minutes, they may sell off and they drop out of that. So I still may like the chart, but for some reason, whatever, they just sold off and they fall out of that, that intraday range that's required for it to be in the upper 25%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a history here, and I'm going to go back to about 30 minutes before the close, because there's some good stocks in there, and I want to find them. So I'm on Central Time. I'm going to put it on 2:30, and it's going to give us a few more here. And you're going to see some big boys in there, some Amazons and some Clacks, Baba. So we're just going to look through here, and you're going to see these charts and what I'm looking at here. There's JD, okay? Everything's being fulfilled. It's above its 50-day moving average, okay? You can see it tried to sell off today. Buyers came in, pushed it higher. It's kind of, you're going to see a lot of them that are below. They've had such a run, they're going to be below their 10 and 20, which is, sometimes somebody that don't like to do that. I'm going to go ahead and mark some of these up just because I think tomorrow we may get a gap down, and if some of these fight back from that gap down and then go off. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark this one up. It doesn't look bad. And let me tell you how I trade these. All right, I'm going to create price alert, and I'm not going to be exactly precise on these. I'm not going to have to be there to the exact penny, but I'll try to be. I'm not going to go in and change them. I'm just going to mark them up right there. But what I like to do is, if it takes out this bar, the high of this bar, okay, theoretically, I would buy it and then use the low of this bar as my stop. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and kind of help you with the way I trade it. Okay. Because what'll happen, a lot of people, you're going to set these, and for whatever reason, a lot of times, maybe you get a gap up in the market. A lot of these will start going off real fast in the first 5 minutes or 2 or 3 minutes of the day. I don't rush in and buy these. Okay. I will watch them. Even if I have to miss 25 or 30 cents, I'm looking at a swing trade. And what I don't want to happen, and I see this all the time, is they will trigger and then immediately just turn in reverse. In other words, it's a fake move, and you're just caught, upside down. So I like to give these things about 15 minutes before I'll jump in them. I mean, if I'm real confident in the chart, sometimes I may buy half a position real early and then maybe add to it if it holds on after 15 or 20 minutes. But just be careful playing these. That's a beautiful looking chart for me. I didn't buy it way up here, but right here, maybe it doesn't look too bad. We're going to go ahead and mark this Amazon up, and we got some big boys in here, so don't feel like you have to play. I probably won't play it. I'm going to mark it up anyway. Baba, well, see, it was in there, but then it fell out. I'm not looking I'm not liking this candle right here, and plus the gap, and plus it's a gappy Chinese stock. I'm going to leave that one alone. Form, I would like to see more of kind of an organized pullback. That's these big red bars. They kind of scare me. Plus, I don't like this gap down here, so I'm going to leave that alone as well. Clack, that doesn't look bad. He's been pretty strong. I'm going to go ahead and set one there in Clack if it takes out that high. Move it up just a tad there. Don't want to get, there we go. Sienna, this one looks like to me, I better keep my eye on the earnings calendar too. Let me go back and look at some of these. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. July 23rd, that's next week in that one. So where was I? Sienna. Yeah, I'm not, that huge downdraft here. Yeah, there's not, I don't like, there's too much congestion over here. Yeah, not crazy about that one. Billy was a nice one today. I mean, it was a big gap down. I'm going to go ahead and mark that one up. Finish pretty, gosh dang, why'd that gap down though? Go ahead and mark it out, but enter with care on that one. I'd like to know why it gapped down. It finished down, I don't know. Looks like it gapped down about 4%. Zynga. Now Zynga, that's a pretty one. It's Zynga, but I'm still going to mark it up. That's not bad. Nice little spinning top there. Jamie, you can stop me if I have this. This one's holding up pretty well three little dojis. What I don't like though is if it takes out this high, you got these highs right next to it. Yeah, I wish that was a little bit steeper, these other candles, because you got basically a 3-day high there. If you'd like to take it and mark it up there, that's fine. I'm gonna leave it alone though. That one I'm seeing, yeah, just a whole lot of congestion over there. K-Web, it's not bad. It is. I'm not going to do it just because it's an ETF and it can be gappy, but that's not bad. You know, if it does a reversal here and you don't like playing internet specific Chinese stocks, that may be the way to do it. I'm going to leave that one alone too. I wish that one had a little more. A lot of them are just looking a lot alike. Now, Marvell, that's holding up pretty good.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Andy, that partial gap fill or
Yep.
in some cases a full gap fill, that was like the pattern of the day today.
Oh, really? Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Yep. Marvell's not bad. If not only that, if it takes out high, you know, it may take out that 10-period moving average. Held up pretty good. You got 3 green bars here, even though you know, the Qs has a few red bars. I'm going to go ahead and mark this up above today's high. This one looked pretty good. Pins, I was just looking at that one. You got 3 wicks right off that 20-period moving average. So let's go ahead and mark this up. And it's kind of an easy one because if it breaks that 20-period moving average, that's probably where your stop is going to. So get out. Not liking that. Not crazy about that one. Nice comeback today, but yeah, I just don't like the way that trades. Crazy about that one. I got enough Cisco. A lot of congestion, not really going anywhere. Baidu, yeah, I'm gonna leave that one alone too. So I have some pretty good ones marked up. Now let's talk more about how to trade these, because I don't want you guys to just rush out and just, you know, say Amazon, nice, you know, 4-day pullback there and a reversal. You know, that could really be powerful for a momentum stock like Amazon. But what you don't want to do is just trade the stock merits alone, okay? In other words, if the market opens up and there's a gap down tomorrow and things are really sloppy and these start going off, don't feel like you have to rush in and buy them, okay? These are kind of things that you kind of want the market going in your favor, okay? Because if you just do, you know, you never trade a stock just on its own merits. You always got to be keeping an eye on its peers, on the market. You know, the market kind of trumps all. Okay, the market can take down everything. So, but if everything's lining up, maybe Netflix comes out and they just start buying it up this morning, and it's like the buyers we've seen in the market over the last 11 years. You know, if it happens again tomorrow, and then all of a sudden you see some of these nice little patterns start, you know, firing off, you might want to take a chance in it. Let me go ahead and share these before I forget. There they are. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to put one other one in there just because it was going off today, and I was liking the chart a lot at one time, and it's Neo here, and not bad. It just looked finished. You can see where I bought it a couple of times in my paper trading account. But this one's nice. I wish it would have closed above, but if it gets back above today's high, you're going to see it. This could be a nice little momentum trade, okay? It's kind of like the Chinese Tesla is what it is. So you might want to keep an eye on Tesla, which is also a lot of times if you see Tesla ripping, you sometimes can catch this one lagging and make a good little sympathy play. But anyway, I'm going to mark that one up right there as well, and then I'll share them. The reason I'm saying it because I saw it in here earlier. Unfortunately, it wasn't in there, and in the time slot I just put it in there, but it's okay. I'm going to put it in there, and I'm going to share these. Share 9 alerts. Copy all, and I'm going to drop them in the chat window, guys, so you guys will have access to them. Now, I may or may not trade these if they go off. Maybe, you know, I sell them. Obviously, I won't trade all of them, but some of the ones, you know, that look the best, you know, I kind of fancy this Neo, but pins didn't look bad to me. Pretty nice looking chart there. Zynga didn't even look bad to me if that goes off. I mean, could be a potential one there. But once again, you'll never see me buy them in the first early minutes of the day. And it is a good chance you get these things just popping up straight up right in the early going of the day. But definitely, you know, use your own judgment. Check out what the market's doing. You know, look at, obviously, if you're looking at Amazon and some of these tech stocks going through, you know, keep an eye on Netflix, you know, because that can take down a lot of those big boys. So, Jamie, do I have any questions? I'm gonna.
Oh, we just had a couple roll in just a minute ago. I was looking at the one the gentleman is asking, is there a text function that might be coming out for the cell phone? Well, we don't really have a cell phone app.
Right.
You can use the web version on your cell phone and use that functionality. But as far as a specific cell phone alert, I have to say no for now.
Yeah. We have SMS texting, but it's really not efficient. It has to go through our servers and then your telephone your texting service, and yeah, it just especially
right. I was thinking he was talking about a new functionality. Yeah, we've got the old clunky one. I just kind of forget about it sometimes.
Yeah. But you're right. Yeah, we definitely are in talks of, you know, coming out with some sort of you know, not a nap right off the bat, but a what's it called, Jamie?
Just more of a mobile version of Trade
Yeah,
Ideas.
exactly. Yeah, something
you know,
that's
a simpler version.
Phones, right. Not seeing any downloads. Did I not put that in there? Let's see.
Andy, we've got the first two links, but there are people requesting the pullback to 50 window as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I'll share it with you, but you can get this in the Trader's Vault. But I'm gonna go ahead and share it with you anyway, just so sometimes I add new columns and things like that. It might be in that pullback. Wait a minute. You know what, let me just do it this way. I haven't done this in a long time. I just want to make sure I got you the most recent version here. All right. But yes, the price alerts, I'm just going to call this one pullback. And the price alerts are in there. And there is the alert. I just dropped it in as well. All the other ones you see on here, you can also find in the Trader's Vault. If you haven't been there, guys, find the key in your channel bar. Okay, you want to find that key and click on that key, and you will see some really good windows that you have access to. Okay, basically you'll see all the ones on my monitor here. Okay, just reading some questions here. What factors did you consider when selecting the stocks under? Great question. Great question. First of all, I'm always, you know, I'm looking at the market. Okay, so if the market opens up, and let's take a look at Netflix, see if it's no, it hasn't. It's actually about the same place it was earlier. Now it's come back just a little bit. But let's say, you know, Netflix opens up and it's just horrendous and selling off and not going in the right direction, and I start seeing these fire off, I'm not going to jump in. Now, if I keep an eye on it and the market stabilizes and I see one of my alerts that went off, I can keep an eye on my price alerts. I can keep clicking on them, and if I see something holding up very well and the market looks like it's going to bounce like it seems to always do at some point, then maybe I would take a chance at it. It's called relative strength. You know, I got a stock that's reversing on the daily pattern, even though the market's getting, you know, beaten up and it's holding up. That's relative strength. So maybe I won't take it early in the morning, especially on a down day, but I'll keep an eye on it. And if it looks like it's holding up well, shoot, yeah, I'd give it a shot. But that's probably the key. The key is, if it's an oil stock, we don't have any oil stocks in here, but or maybe if it's a Chinese internet, and I look over here and K-Web is getting clobbered, maybe I won't buy BABA. So peers, I like to look at peers, and I like to look at the overall market. Okay, if those stars are lining up and I get these alerts, yes, I will take a shot on a swing trade every now and then. Now, I'm picky. I'm not saying I go buy every alert that comes through, but I might buy 2 or 3 of them. Remember, guys, the reason we named this company, I wasn't around when they named it, but Trade Ideas, I was one of the first ones to use it, though. And this is what it is. It's ideas for trading, okay? You still have to know how to trade, okay? No one can tell you to buy this, sell here. The red light, green light, it's not going to work when it comes to trading. You're going to have to learn, how to trade. And once you, learn to understand, sector analysis and what sectors are strong and what's weak and some basic chart technical, analysis, you can do this stuff on your own. Trade Ideas is just going to give you ideas. Yes, Jeffrey, swing trading would be holding maybe, for me, probably the average is 3 to 5 days. I'll let the market dictate, how long I stay in. If everything's kind of working with me, maybe I'll sell half, and the stock's going in my direction and the market's going in my direction, maybe I'll hold on to the other half. But I'm always quick to take, profits if I get, a certain percentage, say, 8 to 10% of this. I'll definitely take off half pretty quick. Can one be created using formulas? I'm not sure. Maybe that's a Jamie.
Yeah, they just started scrolling in pretty fast here.
Yeah, they did. I'm not sure what he's talking about. Can one be created using formulas?
I think, yeah, he was asking about a 9-period, 50-period cross on the SMAs, but we don't have a 9.
No, there's no filter for EMAs. Not right now. We hope to have some in the future, but right now it's SMAs.
And I do believe you cannot create a 9-period with the custom formula editor, right?
No, you can't. If we're not pulling that data, there's not a whole lot you can do.
But there are a ton of SMA filters and alerts, so you might find something that acts as a decent substitute.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys, it looks like the questions are wrapping up, and thank you so much for the great attendance, great questions. And I'm going to bring Scott in here. He's going to walk us out, and you guys hang on. He'll have a discount code for you guys.
Yeah, thank you. A couple items just to go over on the way out. We do have a daily support session, so you can find that by going to trade-ideas. So earnings. Also has some strategies you can put into your layout. There's a Trade Ideas podcast. You can check it out. Just search for Trade Ideas podcast wherever you listen to your pods. And we've got a great interview series that's gone out this year since the top of the year. So do check out those episodes, and then you get the next one when it's ready to come out. We're still using the code HollyJune, all caps, saves 15% off your first month or year of Trade Ideas. So go ahead and plug that in to do an upgrade or purchase Trade Ideas. And email us, info@trade-ideas.com if you have any questions. You can find Jamie on Twitter @QuantBot. Also find our Steve Gomez @TodayTrader, and also @Trade Ideas. And Trade Ideas Pro is the handle to like on Facebook and share stuff with your friends. Thanks, everyone. The recording will be up later on tonight or tomorrow, and you get an email reminder from GoToWebinar tomorrow with that link. Thanks, Jamie and Andy. Have a good one.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great Friday and a weekend.